or something like that. Something about being deferential.
Hello, everybody. Dave, did you give me a preemptive thumbs up? So before we go live, I can only usually see one person, and that one person is responsible for letting me know if everybody the cast is ready to go. And today I was like, Dave, give me the thumbs up if everybody's ready. And Dave gave me the thumbs up. So here we are in the middle of a sentence. I'm sorry to have interrupted you, Andrew.
I also called you a fucking noodle.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Well, hi, I'm really glad to be back with you nerds. It's been a long 5 weeks.
Yay!
A really long time.
This
What's
is
the playing
Roll20
game?
presents The Burning Wheel, and we are back, and we're here to burn some wheels. So we're here to heat up some circles.
Yes!
I am super excited. We used last week to get caught up, and I've been making notes and reading the book. And this is the case every goddamn time that I go to PAX East or Gen Con or any con where I spend several days in proximity with Burning Wheel headquarters. I get like tunnel vision. I'm like, oh, I have to get home. I have to play. It drives me crazy. Like we spent the entire con. I just kept like being like, so in our game, this is what's happening. What do you think about that? And like, what do you think about And then this rule, we had some really interesting conversations about ugly truth, for example.
Oh no! Not ugly truth, I need that!
Turns out the folks at Burning Wheel headquarters think about Burning Wheel a lot. So
No way.
yeah, so I've been, despite not being able to play, I had the entire Gen Con was inundated by my desperate desire to play Burning Wheel. But I'm glad to be back, and it's really nice to see all of you.
So what do I need to know about ugly truth, Adam?
Oh, we were just talking about how, remember when it came up in the last one, we were talking about who gets to decide whether it's the truth or not, right? Like whether you can just say like, I'm the one making the roll, this is ugly truth. Because I say so, or whether it has to rely on it's the person being truthed at. So like their player. So if you say like, you're not a nice person, the ugly truth is you're actually really terrible. The person playing the character being truthed upon gets to be like, yeah, you know what? I as a player think that's probably true. My character is a bad person. Or you could be like, I don't think that's the truth. I think that's an opinion. I think you're making an opinion call on this. You can't use ugly truth. So it does rely on the agreement of the table. Obviously, we all get to have a say about these things, but ultimately, that's how ugly truth works. We have to agree that yes, it is the truth in the universe.
Okay.
Supplementary, though, if you need to ugly truth about something, you can always use a wise to establish it first, right? So if you not about a person, but about the world at large. So if you're like, talking about the emperor's pants is a grave insult because of something bad that happened in the empire a long time ago vis-a-vis pants. You could roll pants wise or emperor wise or social faux pas wise or whatever.
Yeah. It turns out this whole like setting, no one has been wearing pants the entire time.
Right.
I wise for this. It's just like ob 30.
Yeah.
No one's ever been wearing pants.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I just, in my headcanon, no pants whatsoever. Just nude from the waist down all the time. It's weird. It's a weird setting. Now Dave's just going to be imagining that the whole rest of the game.
No, I'm not.
So
I think that's about the pine trees and the...
Yeah, so it relies... Ugly Truth relies on us as a group having some integrity around the idea of like kind of what's going on in the setting and like whether or not the truth is true or not. And then you can use the roll to make the character aware of the ugly truth. So there you go, Elf. Now you have a slightly more nuanced.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good because I'm going to be doing that,
yes,
a fair amount.
That's your thing. Exactly. Yeah.
I don't have a lot of other actionable skills other than throwing knives, apparently.
Throwing and then catching knives.
We also talked a fair bit, and I know we as a group have talked about this both on stream and off, about the idea that the game Burning Wheel has no read a person, right? We've come into these situations where we're like, well, how do I want to know if he's telling, like, what does he actually want? And I asked Luke about this. I was like, we've been playing this very social game, and we've run into this situation where since we have so much experience playing Apocalypse World, we've wanted to know kind of what's going on in a character's head. We wanted to interrogate that fiction, but Luke said that that's not in the game on purpose. That's expressly not in the game. You can do it, but you need magic. Aura reading is how you do that. It was funny because I had this conversation with Tora and Luke, and without them talking at all about it, this must have come up before because I was like, oh, here's the situation. And they were both like, yeah, aura reading, like at the same time. So people are meant to be a little obfuscated.
Okay, so like just like in real life, you have no idea what people actually want.
Yeah, you have to figure that out in play, either by asking them or using magic.
And specifically, you as a player need
Yes.
to figure it out, right? Your character only gets to do it if you get to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, but Luke also said that if you wanted to, you could create a skill. You could just make a new skill for Burning Wheel called, I don't know, like reading people or whatever. There'd be a term for it, and you would just make it a skill, and you could add it to some life paths, and that would change the tenor of the game, but not so dramatically that you would break.
Yeah, by no means would that break the game.
Yeah, it would just create a more open thing. The other thing that Luke suggested,
I'm into the uncertainty.
I like it too. The other thing Luke suggested is that what he does is he'll often just say yes when someone is like lying to a character. He'll say, "Yeah, he's lying to you." This is the dogs in the vineyard trick of being like, he says yes, he means no.
He's clearly lying.
He's lying to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tis a strong technique.
Yes, absolutely. I can say this: if you ever have the opportunity to spend a weekend locked in a small area with both Vincent Baker and Luke Crane, to do it. Take advantage of that situation. That was most of my Gen Con, and it was.
That's a very specific.
It was great.
That's a very specific subset.
If you have
of
the
things.
what?
If that opportunity comes
Locked in
up,
a small
it.
room with two people.
Yeah.
I mean,
those two people in particular. I'm not any two people.
Blue Jay's got this smile on that is making me think bad things, but I don't know if that's the intention. Maybe I'm just horrible.
Could be. Yeah.
That's one of my skills.
Could be. Trying to think if there were any other Burning Wheel related insights that I had at Gen Con. Basically, just like, the fate thing, because I was like, yeah, we have way too many fate points, way too many. And
I mean, you say we. You mean one person.
Yeah,
one
you mean
person.
Dave.
Yeah.
No.
I have a very reasonable number of fate points.
I have.
Yes. Yeah. Alessandra and Agatha. So the reassurance I was given in that regard. Let me just remind everybody here and switch over to the gameplay. Look at all that fate. Look at it all. I was
I'm
yeah.
ready to get down. I was on 12.
I was told to stay the course with the using the conflict system as much as we have been. It's very much meant to bleed away during that. And then also we might consider, and we already kind of came to this conclusion, we might consider being more stringent about handing them out. But otherwise we're doing good. There was, and I don't want to share it, but there was some talk of a house rule for an additional use for fate points, which we'll see. I'll bug them on the Slack about that. But they've been in the home game. There's been some playtesting of an additional use for fate points outside of the stuff that's already in the book, which is pretty cool.
I like additional uses.
I know. Yeah. Mysterious house rules. So we'll see if that seems cool. We might adopt it. I'll let y'all know once it's a little more formulated. But yeah, so I feel pretty ready to jump into to the game. But do y'all want to? Should we recap at all? Is there anything anyone wants to make sure we remember from the last session?
I mean, the only thing that I can think of personally is shit got real, and I'm gonna make it realer. Like that's all I gotta say.
First on the list.
Yeah.
Let me just remind everyone that I was incredibly fucking metal and badass at the end of the last episode.
It's true, you were.
Back, so watch the fuck out.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We have some people who need to advance corruption.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I guess we do.
That's right. So maybe
on,
we
I
should
need
begin there. And
That's
then
a
we'll
great
because
idea.
we get some new traits, and then we can play out how these potential transformations occur. So Joy and Miro both,
Yeah.
have
I believe so. Yes.
All right. So Miro, You are currently at what for corruption?
7.
And you were before, like, how many? Did you go up 1 or 2?
I went up 1.
You went up 1. Okay, all right. So corruption 7, which means you're 3 away from corrupting out of the game.
No, wait, you're at 7?
Yes, Miro is at 7 corruption.
Yeah.
Remember, when
Yeah.
you reach 10 corruption, you are removed from play. That is if you don't become an amoeba before that. So we'll see.
I mean, we'll see if
don't
Miro just
an
What if
amoeba.
he becomes an amoeba right now?
I love that.
I don't think he can. I don't think he has the dice to become an amoeba.
No, not this time.
There are
Yeah.
some very specific corruption traits that I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them are great. Some of them are horrifying. But yeah, if you manage to roll a 16, which you can't now, you would become either an amoeba or shadow and dust, whichever.
can't-
Shadow and Dust.
No. Dave is locked into a specific choice now because he has already gotten one corruption.
It
trait.
alternates, yeah. So
Yeah, so it's gonna
right
alternate
now,
this
you're
time.
which column are you on, Dave? The primary or alternate?
I
shitty
will be
one.
choosing from primary.
Okay.
Oh
so,
God, the bad ones.
so the primary corruption traits, you have 7, so that means you're going to get between an 8 and a 13, right?
Yep.
So as a result of this roll, Miro will either become blind, maimed, gain an aura of malevolence, gain enlarged venom sacs, grow fur, or become
would be very
tongueless.
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 One of those is really bad.
His tongue
rest-
will wither and crawl forth from his mouth to escape and live its own life.
Oh God.
So those things are great. I know that Dave is wrangling for enlarged venom sacs or aura of malevolence probably, but fur, maimed, blind, those are all great. Dave, would you like to roll a d6 and add 7 and we can find out what your new corrupted trait is?
Okay, let's do it. I've been thinking about this a lot more. I think there's a really cool story opportunity if I roll 1 specifically, so I hope I get it.
Tongueless?
No, everything goes terribly wrong when that happens.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yes! Yes! That's what I wanted!
You got fur.
Fur.
You
Yes.
fur now.
Miro
I
gains-
now have
Miro will have fur now. Yes. So let me see if there's like a more specific. Let me see if there's a more specific description. But yes, his corruption has granted him a coat of fur. Let's see, a character
Wow.
trait. Let's see if there's any more description. I believe that it's just you have fur. But
Just
let
have
me
fur
make sure.
now.
Let's see, and it's all for nothing. Fur. A fine, soft fur coat covers the skin. Excellent. All right. Miro has gained the fur trait.
Miro.
All right, cool. Miro the Wolfman.
Oh no.
I thought of a really cool way he's going to conceive of it.
I love it. Fur is nice in the winter. Yeah, exactly. God has granted you the hide of a beast so as to protect you from
Exactly.
the cold. I love it. You're just
Exactly.
evolving.
Oh, this is really
Mhm.
weird.
Ah.
This is some weird
That's
fucking
exactly
shit.
what I was
That's
thinking.
so good.
Okay.
Excellent. All right, so Joy,
Yeah.
you were at corruption
1.
Can we just talk for a second about before we get to this? There was one that and you could still, I guess, get it, Dave, as you progress, because now you're on the alternate table, right? So if
Yes.
you roll a 13, here's a word that Burning Wheel taught me. If you roll a 13 on the alternate table, you get radula. Now a radula is let me find the description here.
Oh god, is it the
a-
tongue thing?
Yeah, a primitive hybrid of the teeth and tongue, a muscular, barbed, toothy tongue used to grind up food for ingestion. It can be used as a weapon on locked opponents. Slugs, snails, mollusks have this. It's like a tube of like hardish flesh covered in barbed chunks, and it like kind of like
And you, like,
emerges from your mouth to
wrap
grind
around.
food up and like
Yeah.
mush it into your horrendous. Yeah, they're disgusting.
What the fuck?
And amazing. So that's a thing. That's an option for the future for our now furred monk.
Certain categories of rodent have life paths where they get that trait.
Yeah, a lot of those traits are monster traits. Yeah, exactly. Like enlarged venom sacs, for example.
Yes.
So my whole section is way less interesting than
Yeah,
Right.
your corruption is now what, 2?
2.
2. Okay, so you can get between 3 and 8.
I guess, yeah.
And
You
you
could be
are,
blinded as well.
and you're on.
I could be blinded.
She's
yeah.
on primary, so
You're
she
on
can
primary.
get rat speak, bottomless stomach, lame, palsy, diseased, or blind.
Yeah, those all sound great.
So being able to talk to rats sounds cool.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but the rest of them are like, ah.
Bottomless stomach is intense, like cursed by the darkness to like
To
forever
always
hunger. It's great for the person who's least in the position to get food, plus also in the middle of like a winter-induced famine.
I'm
Elf,
really, really excited for your role, Elf.
You should get that
Bottomless
because then
stomach,
we'll
nature's-
both be playing our Monster Hearts characters.
yeah. All right, here we go. It's just a D6, right?
D6 plus 2.
Plus 2. Okay.
Don't fuck
Shit.
this up,
Oh,
Elf.
fuck.
Elf, don't screw up.
Oh God, Elf.
Lame.
Lame.
All right.
Aw.
So
Now you're even more pathetic.
I know you are even more pathetic. Enjoy getting more Artha. So let me find the exact description of this trait, and you can decide how the darkness has claimed a limb.
Lame.
Literally, yes. Let's see.
It's almost like losing an arm, says chat.
Fuck off, chat.
So lame is in the core book, Adam.
Is that the trait that Rooster had, or did you
That's
have a
what
different?
Rooster had, yeah.
It's stride -1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
She's got a limp.
Yeah. So what is this? You can decide what it's like. Yeah. Like, do you have like a one of your legs is like become gnarled and twisted, you know, or is it something else? Like, how do you envision?
I don't think it's anything like too dramatic.
I mean, it is corruption.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's up to you how kind of how that manifests.
And we will all remember that your character is corrupted because she prayed to some.
The only thing I ever did
Yeah.
was one prayer to
Listen,
a dark being
once you
to
take
save me.
once you take your first step
Fuck.
down that dark path, forever will it dominate
Will it-
your destiny.
Yeah, forever
Joy.
will it dominate your destiny. Yeah. Fuck.
So yeah, that's literally why. It's like one day you prayed to the darkness and the darkness heard you, and
I
it
think-
opened the portal to your body's disintegration.
let me know what you think about it, but I think it's like more of a freezing thing. Like it's a cold. It's like a
like you got
in
frostbite?
relation to the cold. Yeah.
Yeah, what does
like,
frostbite do to you?
It's like a rigidity of the limb rather than like a twisting or like gnarling of it.
So yeah, you're like
Um,
from the knee down, you're paralyzed in one of your legs.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like I don't know. It
And
seems like a
Numbness, red,
suitable.
white.
I mean, the thing is,
Harder,
like,
whack.
unlike Miro,
Yeah.
who will wake up one day and be like, I have fur. Well, it's God's will. Joy, yeah. I mean, this can be the gradual.
It's much more.
loss.
It's much more. Yeah, like gradual and sort of like feels like it might be natural, but we know it's not, sort of thing.
Right, and so it would be easy enough for you to hide. It's like not like one day you wake up and your leg just falls off.
No,
Um,
I mean, you know, if the
Oh, but it would-
fool's got a limp, who's gonna know?
yeah,
Who's
I
gonna
like
care?
it being subtle for sure.
Yeah.
And also like your leg just goes numb, right? And then you have fucking phantom limb and like
This feels a little real.
Yeah.
Your leg
bad.
just goes numb,
I
and
like,
you
I like it.
don't
Yeah,
know
and you might not.
Can't
This is the
fix
thing: the
it.
blurring the line between medical condition and magical condition, right? Where like Joy, if you wanted to get it treated, you could go to a doctor or you could go to a.
If I were
witch.
higher born, then I might have the option of doing any of that. But nobody cares if I've got a health problem.
I mean, if you
so-
start limping around, people are going to be like, "What are you doing? Haha, that's funny.
Yeah,
Look at
exactly.
you flopping around. This is a good new trick. I like this."
Yeah, so both of you got useful traits.
Mhm.
Good job.
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
useful,
Yeah, Miro.
definitely.
I'm curious to see how Wolf Miro explains the. So how do you envision your fur to look, Miro? Like it can't be like subtle. It's fur all over your body. But these are strange times. So what do you envision it looks like?
I imagine it's definitely white. It's like snow white fur,
Mhm.
and I don't think it's all over his. It's still super visible, but I think it's like on the underside of his face to like give him a beard where he like I originally said he had one, but then we established in the setting that unmarried men don't have beards. So now he has one, and I think it's probably like weirdly soft as well.
Yeah.
And he like likes to touch it now. And he's just like, yeah.
God's gift to me. I like it. I like the idea that it's like ape fur, that it isn't on your face or your hands, like it's on the back of your hands. There are probably parts of you that don't have the fur,
Like
but like your
someone
shoulders and
picked him up by his head, dipped him in glue, and then dipped him in fur, right? So there's just stuff.
he's flocked now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it.
And it'll be like everywhere else, I imagine. The probably doesn't need to be like a chest pounding patch or whatever, but
Fur for Miro and for Joy. Excellent. Okay, fantastic. Good stuff. Corruption, everybody. It's great. It's good for you.
I've managed to avoid it by only things that give me challenging corruption tests.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, at one corruption, like,
Yeah, it's easy to become more corrupt.
yeah.
I managed to avoid it by only killing one person. Kind of.
So to remember. So here, let's just, while we're talking about corruption, let's talk about it a little bit more. Talk about what it does. So the corrupted use their corruption to aid their actions in play. It works similarly to greed or spite and can be called upon when undertaking a vile, dark, or corrupt act. This can be due to overt action or simple intent. The group is the final arbiter about whether an act is degenerate enough to warrant help from the chittering gods who dwell in the shadow of men's dreams. For one fate point, Dave, for one fate point, you may call upon dark powers to help you. Corruption can help any stat or skill test. Help gives 1 die for exponent 4, 2 die for exponent 5 or higher. So Dave, you can spend those fate points to get 2 extra dice on any, basically you're forking in your corruption.
As long as you're being a degenerate corrupt sorcerer.
Yes.
I didn't know I could do that. That's fantastic.
So just about anything you ever do, you could fork it.
Yeah, anything that as a group we agree, the dark gods, think of it as help, right? Dark gods, fallen demons, lurking outside forces, they grant you 2 extra dice on anything that they would help on, and we can decide this as a group. For 1 persona point, you can substitute your corruption for any skill or stat in any test.
Oh, yes.
So if you have a persona, you can spend it to have 7 in the thing. It's kind of like your mouse nature in Mouse Guard. So for a persona point, you can substitute corruption. So you're just going on pure corrupt power. Any skill or any stat.
I'm totally imagining the wizard battle now that is eventually going to happen, and I'm just
bad.
You know what? Actually, let's just be corrupt in this spell, and then it's just fucking massive. Like,
There's one other very important rule. So corruption brings strength. The corrupted player may always substitute corruption for fort to pass tax tests if the player desires. You still lose dice from your fort if that kind of mechanic kicks in. But if you are using art, magic, or religion rules in combination with this emotional attribute, corruption must be used to pass the test.
Yes. Yeah.
So you always roll your corruption on text.
When you're taxed, yeah.
Interesting.
Mostly a warning for Adam.
Yes.
That is how that will work.
You earn tests for advancement when corruption itself is rolled. So rolling it, whenever you roll it, it will advance. That's the cost here. If you spend the deeds points, standard rules apply. As it advances, then you get some stuff. And like greed, routine tests always count for advancement. And it advances like steel in the sense that when things happen in the game around or to you, you can do it. So even when advancing corruption from 5 to 10, routine tests equal to the exponent count as 1 category of advancement filled. Therefore, from 5 or higher, it advances if any 2 of the 3 categories are filled. So if Dave wants to continue playing Miro, we may see Miro leave the campaign via corruption. That's okay. The Dark Gods claim their own. So you have to be careful about that. When corruption reaches exponent 10, the Dark Ones, demons, or outer gods from whom you've been granted power come for you. They grant you 1 last gift before taking you from this realm into theirs. You roll on the table 1 last time to see what trait you earn by advancing your corruption. The character is then removed from play.
Yeah.
So...
And it's not because I don't like the character, but I am not ever going to play around getting too much corruption.
Right.
I think he either dies in some way or he succeeds and the world probably ends. or yes, he gets corrupted. Like these are the ways out for him.
Okay, perfect.
Like, it's not going to end well.
Good, excellent. All right, so now we understand corruption a bit better.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's talk about beliefs, instincts, and traits, and then let's get this circus started. Joy, would you like to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. Are we doing the whole beliefs and instincts thing? Is that what we're doing?
Give
Okay.
us the rundown.
So my beliefs are I need to get back in the king's good graces. I'll make him believe me about treason. Megas Diptera has made an enemy. I'll find something to use against him. I need Igata to interpret my dreams. She must trust me. Are my beliefs. And then my instincts are when anyone speaks of God, laugh, always keep a knife where no one can see it, and confront every boast with an ugly truth.
Fantastic. For that, I need Agatha to interpret my dreams. She must trust me. What are you going to do to get her to trust you?
Do you know? I don't know yet.
Okay. Maybe rephrase that to I will find a way to
make her I'll find a way to make her trust me? Okay, yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And your traits?
Oh, right. Yes. I'm sorry. I haven't done this in a while. My traits. My character traits are off-kilter, scapegoat. My die traits are broken, numb, and dreamer. My call-on traits are aura of innocence and keen taste. And I suppose lame is in there somewhere now as well.
Lame is a die trait, yes.
It's a die trait?
Yeah. I can add it for you.
I got it.
Okay.
And my cultural character traits are ashen, somber, and eldritch for being a Stygian.
Excellent. Okay. Cool. All right. Agatha, let's
Hello.
Let's get reunited. What you got?
I am Agatha. My beliefs are I must ensure my position at court is secure. I will find the cause of this winter curse for the king. That raving monk has some connection to this cursed winter. I will discover his secrets, and I will give Alessandra one last chance to embrace her worth. Then she is dead to me.
Fucking awesome. She's going to be very busy with this pending marriage situation, so she might not have time for, a weird witch.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to include that in my stuff.
Okay, what are your instincts?
And then my instincts are to always speak truth to power, to never put something back in the wrong place, and to never let a trespass go unpunished. I am always in the way, well-traveled, spooky, inscrutable, respectful of women, lupine, reclusive, misunderstood, fey-blooded, blind, gifted. I have a spirit familiar. I have the essence of earth, and I have a forked tongue.
You do indeed. All of those many things. Excellent. Alessandra?
Yeah, so I finished my belief about making the king jealous last time. So my new belief there is the king has said he will handle things. I must learn of his plans because I don't trust he was very weird. And yeah.
I don't think he was that weird.
It was just like she likes having control and she doesn't have control. So she wants to at least not be ignorant, right?
I like that point of view on the world. I don't have control over him. He's weird.
He's weird.
Weirdo, not letting me push him around.
I know, right? Then I changed my belief about Agatha. It was like Agatha has treasonous thoughts and I must convince her not to voice them aloud again. But I think now Agatha has power. I will confide my plans in her and request her assistance. I think that Alessandra's a little bit unsettled about not having control and like being able to manipulate the king as well as she's been able to. So change that. And then the first one I wasn't taking any action on. It wasn't doing anything for me. So I changed it to reflect what Joy told me about how the queen wants to see me and like to have a dinner or whatever. And I said, I will become close with the queen. I will meet with her as per her request.
Okay. Can we fire up that end bit? Meeting with her isn't something that's like even going to be remotely a challenge because she already wants that. What are you going to do when you meet with her to become close?
I will ingratiate myself to her. That's my instinct, right?
Okay, sure. So I would change that one. Like,
I want
just
her.
the end bit. Like, I will make her
Yeah.
like me, or I will ingratiate.
I want to
myself.
be her boon companion.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
want her to want me.
Ooh, boon
I
companion.
need her to need me.
Sleep with both the king and the queen. Getting real saucy up in this royal family.
I
She's
think
got a list of everyone at court and is just checking them off one at a time. It's an arcane ritual. Once you sex everybody in court, you own them.
Yeah, that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will I will become close with the queen. Or maybe the first bit needs to be more complicated.
I mean, I think if your goal is to become close,
I want
maybe I will become close to the queen as your second part. Why do you want to become close to the queen?
because I want to manipulate the shit out of her. I want
but
to
to what
end her
end?
relationship with the king. I want to divide them.
I mean, maybe something like I keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I
Sure,
must
that's
gain
great.
the confidence of the queen.
Yeah, that's great.
She doesn't even know you're her enemy.
No, she doesn't. That's how it should be.
You're gonna show up and she's just gonna stab you in the eye.
No,
Spoilers.
I must gain the queen's confidence.
Like, hi, I'm here for dinner. Ah!
No. Okay. And then my instincts are when I meet someone new, ingratiate myself to them, always redirect violence away from my person. And then the third instinct hasn't really been doing anything for me, but it's whenever I'm alone, sing to myself.
Mhm.
I need to probably just do a different one because, yeah, it's not making things troublesome. I'm not alone a lot. It's not very suited. My traits are your lordship, ambitious, well-dressed, independent, cosmopolitan, and raven-haired, and then mark of privilege and rapier wit.
Excellent. Cool. All right.
I also haven't been talking to my relationship niece at all, so
Yeah. That's true. She's around.
thing to do.
I mean, she serves the queen, right?
exactly.
So I imagine she'll probably be in that scene.
Oh yeah, that's the girl that doesn't like me.
Yes,
Right.
Serica.
She doesn't like being made fun of, is why she doesn't like you.
Yeah, but nobody likes me for that reason.
I mean, there are definitely people who are better at being made fun of.
I think that
yeah, Rez is
Soren
good.
is okay at being made fun of.
Yeah, I think Reza thought it was funny, right? When you like said shitty things about him, but then he's dangerous to make fun of because he's one of those people where if you push
It's
too
funny.
hard,
It's funny right up until he beats you up.
yeah, where he's like, ha 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 ha. All right, you pushed too hard, now you're dead. Now I'm gonna beat on you.
Where is Reza?
Where is Reza? That's a great question. He doesn't seem like the kind of person you want to lose track of.
I need to find where he is. That's a nice segue, actually, to my first belief.
Excellent. Yes, tell us about your beliefs.
I cannot allow my vision of the future to come to pass. Reza, Agatha, and their heretic companions must be stopped. Next step, I will track down the angel to better protect them.
Excellent.
Because I have no idea where it is.
So in this
I wish-
case, you want to track down the angel so that the angel will protect whom? What is the them in this?
To protect
I
me.
want to protect the angel.
Oh yes, okay. I was just checking
Okay,
the
my
thing. Right. So
vision is-
I love that. Like, there's this incredibly powerful divine entity wandering around the sea. I have to take care of it. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good boy. It's a good boy. He didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I wish to rekindle the spirits of the people. I will begin holding sermons and speeches to help them back onto the path.
Perfect. The furred monk with corruption 7 wants to start holding sermons and speeches. You should gather your cult around you for your ultimate demonic ascension. It's fine.
Yep. Alessandra's blasphemy is distressing and disappointing. I'll bring it up with her uncle because I haven't had a chance to speak to him yet.
Mm-hmm.
And my special belief from being a zealot is God is dead. I'll bring him back. I'll practice my summoning on human ghosts in preparation for his rebirth.
Awesome. Fantastic. There's lots of dead people available to you. So
Yeah. So my instincts are always challenge blasphemy. My duty as a priest is to impart my knowledge to others, always offer advice for an aphorism, and never ignore a potential sign of the angel's holy machinations.
excellent.
And my traits are believer, faithful, gifted, tonsured, vested, zealot, demented, mad, tool, violent, pious, tough, and now fur.
Excellent.
Fur.
Fur.
So I wanted to talk about fur for a second. So using art magic to inflict fur on a group of people for the rest of the campaign would be an ob 7 or ob 8 I think spell roll. So once you gather your cult around them, if you want to bless them with their own coat of silky fur, now you know that's possible.
Right.
So get ready.
Let's do it.
The curse of fur. Cool. All right. So, it is I don't know, probably like not immediately after the oublieting of the old woman, but I think maybe a few days later. We have some movement forward as you've all kind of returned to your lives, or spent some time in holy contemplation of your new traits. And I think let's talk a little bit about the sort of courtship process here, Alessandra. So now that you've been paraded around and introduced to the world as a eligible bachelorette, what's the next step? Like, how do people start coming to you and are like, hey, we should go on dates? Like, what is that situation like?
So we've already established that the mourning period ends at the start of winter, right? So that means that all of this courting is happening during winter. So nothing outside. I feel like usually it would be people sitting down with the male figure or father figure, or like person who grants dowries. But in this case, I'm in control of my own shit.
Are you, or is it the king? Because you had the king parade you around.
But the king doesn't have time. The king doesn't have time for that. Maybe it's the person that we rolled up. Maybe it's Octavian, the
master records. Yeah.
Because he would have the records of like what my worth is, right? So maybe he's like interviewing people and like setting up like it would be something that would have to have a who's the person that like watches while you like sit and talk with your potential suitor? What's that person?
Or your chaperone?
There would be like chaperoned stuff, like meetings maybe, but like not a lot of them. It's pretty much just up to the male characters in the group to be like, yes, this is suitable to me and I have enough to offer you and we're a good match, according to Octavian, this guy who does the like matchmaking and stuff. So if it was like a part of the royal family, I think the king or queen might have something to do with it. But
I agree with you. I agree with you that the king has too much to do to do that. I think he would assign someone or whatever. But
Like the queen.
I don't think it would have to be a man. A man would be responsible for this, because God forbid that women get to pick their own suitors or deal with this stuff on their own. But I don't think it would fall to the keeper of records, right? He's fucking busy too. He's got a lot of other shit to do. He's too important for that as well. Like I feel like your uncle would be the appropriate person here, because he's
well, then
he's
why
an
wasn't
elder
he
relative.
the one? Why wasn't he the one to parade me around in the first place?
I believe because you orchestrated a specific result for that.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. So I think that in that moment, you got what you wanted there, and then the king was like, I don't have time for this, or everyone knew that he didn't have time for that, and then you were passed up. So your uncle, I guess, would be the one responsible for this, unless you want to try to establish something different with a skill. If you have a wise that you want to roll.
Let's see. My courtship wise is I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, surely this would not be a super hard wise test. It's not
I mean, the thing
obscure.
is that from what we've established, it makes sense that it would be her closest male relative.
Alternately, if you would like to roll circles to conjure up a different
A
relative.
summoned Corvidae who
Yeah.
isn't like, yeah, maybe the clergy. Well, he already was advising.
Yeah, I mean, I think the
Him
thing.
sticking his nose in it versus what is traditionally acceptable or encouraged are two different things, right?
Yeah.
A summoned Corvidae who couldn't arrive in time to do the whatever ceremony because I rushed it on purpose, but whose job it would be to handle this.
Yeah, your agreement with Father Robillard because of the Duel of Wits is that he's staying in Carpathia. He's still around, but he's giving you space to run your house and manage your affairs. So yeah, I think trying to circle someone up appropriately
we
would
can
be
try.
okay.
We can see how that goes. Okay, so obviously my affiliation with House Corvidae would be valuable here
Yeah, absolutely.
because I'm trying to find a Corvidae. Circles. What would you?
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what that's going to look like. So this person has arrived in the interim, right? Like while in between the last session. Also, yeah, Agatha, we'll get to your being injured. We'll cut to you and figure out how you drag yourself out of the well and deal with your wounds later. That'll be our next thing to set up here. But let's look at the circle situation. So let's see. The obstacle for this this roll is going to be, let's see, you're looking for someone with a broad... I mean, talk to me about what you want here. You want just another Corvidae, like a male Corvidae of any kind?
I would like if it was a male Corvidae that I was familiar with and could work with to like help me out and not just like be another person butting into my business.
Are you looking for a male Corvidae who owes you a favor?
Have you also had sex with them? Because that's the way that you get people to be on your side, apparently.
Evidently. I don't like, maybe not. If that is what the ob is.
I mean, the more specific we get, the higher the ob will be. But I'm curious about: are you looking for someone who you just know, who is like another Corvidae, or are you looking for a Corvidae that you can specifically manipulate into being part of your conspiracy, or you know?
I like honestly, and I think that this is like what I want is someone who is on my side, but I think that's determined by whether the roll goes well or not, right?
I mean, if you succeed, you'll get the thing that you establish in your intent. If you fail, I will give you, I'll almost certainly invoke the enmity clause and complicate it for you. So you tell me what you want. And then the thing is, if you don't already circles them up with owing you a favor, you can try to manipulate them, but they'll come in neutral if you succeed.
What I want is I want a Corvidae who knows the way that Corvidae peoples and myself included scheme and manipulate and are ambitious and wants to help me with that. And not hinder me by like marrying me off to a random.
If you're looking for someone who knows how to play the game, that means you're gonna see each other the same way. They're gonna show up being like, how can I manipulate the situation to be best for me, not for you, right? Because that's how all of you are.
And then hopefully
you can align this person. Basically, you're the lower the ob now, the more you're gonna have to work to put them on your team later. But the higher the ob now, the more on your team already they start. So if you're like, this person already owes me a favor, they'll show up and be like, yep, cool, I'm here to pay off my debt and hopefully like make something for myself. But if
that
you don't,
makes sense.
Yeah.
If they owe me a favor, their ambitions personally will be like set back to the fact that I've already helped them out. So they'll be more in like, let's help Alessandra and less in let's help me.
Okay.
Right.
So you want
let's help Alessandra in a way that helps me.
Yeah.
So you want a Corvidae. So you do want one who already owes you something.
Yes. Who owes me a favor.
Okay. So Corvidae who owes a favor.
And essentially the way that we can think of this is it's how much do you want to pay up front versus how much do you want to pay down the line, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're of the same station rank or social class.
Yes.
I assume you're not looking for someone like a big deal Corvidae or any more big deal than you. Okay. So that's base ob is 1 plus 2 for uncommon. It's uncommon to find a Corvidae that owes you a favor. Not rare or unique, certainly. Let's see. Disposition, so that's the same. It's not unusual for Corvidae to be around. They're travelers, so that's fine. I'm not going to emphasize. So I'm going to just say ob 3.
Okay. And then I'm gonna use my 1 die affiliation with House Corvidae, obviously.
And what's your circles to begin with?
4.
Okay.
I guess I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope, because you can't really wrap too much more into. Can I use my affiliation with nobility in general?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a noble and a member of Host Corvidae.
You can
And
put
the
a
base
percent
optical is 3.
Base ob is 3. Yes.
3. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. You could spend your
What
persona.
the fuck?
Okay, you got 2 successes. 1 is a 6.
I'll roll the fate. God damn it! I fucking hate everything. I hate everything.
Now you can especially hate everything.
I hate everything even more. Fine. All right. This is just the worst.
It's not the worst.
I don't like. Remember Tabitha? Do you remember fucking Tabitha?
Yeah, maybe this person knows Tabitha too.
I hate you.
I mean, maybe he's got a big crush on Tabitha. Maybe that's why he showed up. I like how you're building this conspiracy against you for me.
I just.
Okay, let me come up with a name for this this Corvidae. And are
Can
they
just not show up?
No, come on now. I think his name is going to be Sylvain.
Okay.
Sylvain, and I don't know if he's
Ooh, Sylvain.
Sylvain, and I think that he's a I don't know, maybe is he a Corvidae, or is he like a sub house?
I mean, if we're talking about someone who's important enough to be like my dad, basically, I think it's a Corvidae.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the central family makes sense.
All right.
Corvidae. How did you spell his name?
Sylvain.
In. Okay. Got it.
Sylvain Corvidae, a young, ambitious nobleman.
Lovely.
Okay. Why? What does he owe you a favor for? What did you do for him?
I think the favor was similarly court politic, in that perhaps I pulled a string to get him out of a engagement that he didn't feel was suited for him back when I was still married to Gavril. I probably was like, oh, here's a cousin Larix for this person to marry, and they're great, and you don't have to marry that person anymore.
Oh, so you put him in a position to get a better wife.
Yeah.
Than he would have otherwise.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah. So he owes you. He owes you for that, but he doesn't like it. Maybe something went wrong, or his wife did not turn out to be as useful, or whatever.
May
Or maybe.
I put forward a suggestion?
Yeah. Please.
He was totally in love with whoever he was going to actually be married to initially.
Oh shit.
But it wasn't politically sound, right?
Right. Oh man. Okay.
Nice.
All right. That's really good.
If only you weren't a Corvidae, you might have
And
been
maybe
happy.
he
So
didn't he didn't ask you for this favor. He wasn't like, oh, help me with this. You were just like, I'm gonna pull the strings and make this work for you. And so you think he owes you for this, and he's just like, "Ah."
God damn it! Why? You try to do one nice thing.
Excellent. So Sylvain is Sylvain staying at your house?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sylvain, a cousin of yours with some clout in the city where the Corvidae come from, he comes to you with some servants and and shows up at your house here to help you get hitched. Oh
Yeah.
my God, awesome. Cool. Okay. All right. So that's a thing that happened in the interim. Agatha, let's talk about your injuries. So you were. Sorry, I'm writing down the thing you just said in chat because yes.
Yeah, right.
Don't forget independent, cosmopolitan, and raven-haired.
Mm-hmm.
Who could ever forget?
Those are perfect. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, what injury were you? Where were you at for that? And then we'll figure it out.
I ended up taking a midi wound. I believe it disappeared off my character sheet.
Okay. Yeah, I think you did too.
But I know I had 1 die left, like I wasn't unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
I had 1 die left in my lowest stat, so.
Okay.
Although I guess I can also scroll back and look at the. Yeah, my wound mod was -2, so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So injury and recovery. Here we go. So to recover from a midi wound, you let's see. Basically, you need to get attention right away. It says treated before the conclusion of the session, but it happened right at the end. So it becomes a severe wound if you do anything other than go get it treated right away. So what do you do? What do we see? Do we see you climb out of the well, ring style and like lurch off to your home? Do you treat yourself? Do you have someone you go to? What happens? I guess so when you get your magic back at the cost of a human life and your own bodily well-being.
Yeah, and so what are the skills that can heal me?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So when you are wounded, to recover, you need field dressing, bloodletting, apothecary, herbalism, surgery, and then a bunch of like magic shit. Child rearing or nursing. The easiest one is surgery. Everything else is like ob 4.
Yeah, because surgery is the most appropriate skill, of course. I used to have apothecary, but I switched it out for something else.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
I have apothecary.
How good is your apothecary?
It's only 3.
Wow, you're crap. Okay, well,
Well,
Why
you can
would I
help. You can
spend a
help
lot of
someone.
time?
The thing is, you can help someone who is healing you if you're conscious.
Yeah, so I might end up doing that.
I have poisons. Does that help?
No.
I can help you into the grave.
If there's one thing I learned by playing Inheritance, it's that no, poison doesn't help.
Yeah, don't trust anyone who wants to help you. They will secretly poison you to death.
What you mean
All
is
right, so
don't,
maybe-
don't trust Witch Trist.
Yeah, true.
I also poisoned.
Yeah, and Blue Jay.
Oh boy.
So maybe I just show up
In the middle of the night.
in the middle of the night in Elisandra's room.
I love
Yeah,
this.
so
I
this
just
is-
Hi, I just killed the woman who was helping you fuck the king. Can you help me? I don't feel good.
Well, I don't tell her that.
Obviously. Okay,
Of
well,
course.
let's why don't we if we want, let's play out a scene because I'm curious if she's
Okay.
going to help you or not and what that conversation is going to be like.
And also, to be clear, the reason I'm doing this is, one, for the sake of expediency, we don't have to circles up another character, etc. But also, I have a belief about how I will give her one last chance to embrace her worth. So she's like very present on my mind.
Yeah, totally. You climb out of the well and go straight to her.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, let's grab a break. We'll do that as our first sort of proper scene when we get back, and then we'll catch up with Fur Baby and the crippled jester when we get back.
Wow, I don't like my new name.
Listen, Joy, we'll just keep adding bad traits to you until.
Listen,
Listen, if people don't find you funny, they'll at least pity you.
yeah.
Eventually, you can be an amoeboid.
Yeah, turn into an amoeba once you lose all your limbs. All right, stick around, team corruption and the healing bunch when we get back.